Hey, how you going? If you are somebody who is interested in learning how to sell yourself more effectively, if you're somebody who's recently found yourself unemployed, or you're somebody who is pitching for roles, your next step in your career, or if you're somebody who is an account manager or someone in sales, even a director, or just someone who's a team member in an organization, in this session today, I've got for you, we're going to be talking more about my tips and tricks on how to sell yourself more effectively. I think there's some great stuff to take away here today, whether you are somebody who knows this stuff intimately or whether you're just doing it for revision and summary. Certainly to hear from me, we can talk more about that and we can talk lots about that. So I do really appreciate it when you guys comment on videos. So if you are watching live on LinkedIn or YouTube or on Facebook, please let me know where you are watching from by commenting in the stream. Then I can see who's here. I can see Zach's on board there on LinkedIn. So welcome, Zach. This is going to be a good one for you. So let me know where you're watching from. Let me know, if you have any questions. This is about you guys. This is about a one-on-one with me and you and my tips and tricks that have helped me sell myself more effectively over time, particularly over the duration of my career. A little bit of background. I remember a time when I was about 16, 17 years old where I was working in a small corner store, like a little general store that had groceries and some simple takeaway food. And I really loved the interaction with people. And in fact, it would really uplift me thinking about going to work. I really didn't like high school at the time. And the time of life I'm talking about is about, 1991, 1992, 1993. I just didn't enjoy high school at all. But what I really did love doing was working in this particular corner store. It was on a river and it also had some little hire boats. So little fishing boats, people could hire out and go fishing. And I just really used to love the interaction with people. And what I found was that, or what my boss actually commented on at the time was that the people, when I was hiring out boats, would always take boats for a longer period of time. They would buy fishing tackle and fishing lines and hooks and sinkers. They would buy takeaway food. And the boss was always like, well, what is it? He would observe, or she was observe. It was a husband and wife couple that were running that particular business. And they were like, how is it that you always, all the hire fleet's always out, all of the, there's always takeaway food, and the sales on the day that I worked were always higher. Now, at that particular point in time, I didn't realize I was a salesperson. I was just really excited to help people and really motivated to help people. And I loved helping people, explore the wonderful river and water system and waterway that I lived on. So if I think back to that particular point in time when I was sort of 15, 16, 17 years old, and there's a couple of things that I've carried through with me my whole life, and I'm going to share those with you today because they are things that we really need to consciously focus on. And we're going to obviously focus on how to sell yourself more effectively and a process. But there's also some soft skills and some thinking that goes with that. So welcome. We got people from all around the world. Welcome on board this morning. So have fantastic Toronto. That's a great part of the world. I believe it's warming up there for you at the moment. I hope it's nice. And Florida, fantastic. Also another lovely part of the world. Oh, and of course Sydney, Australia. We've got people from Bangkok in Thailand. A couple of different people there in Thailand. So welcome on board. Western Australia. Obviously, we're broadcasting here this morning from Sydney, Australia, and some people there in the UK. So Port Stephens, north of Sydney, and Melbourne. So absolutely fantastic to have you all on board, and thanks for joining us. I'm here to help you guys today. This hopefully can be a little bit more interactive. So if there is something that you would like to know a little bit more about in terms of pitching and selling yourself, what do I think is important? What do I think is not so important? Then I really do want to help you this morning. So that little story takes me back to a particular point in time where I really want to start with thinking, how we're thinking, and being in the right place. I want to comment on a couple of things, and those are emotions, obviously. And I will talk more about the process of selling as we get to this, but it really does start with how you're thinking and what motivates you, what you're excited about, what you're passionate about. And there's a couple of labels that we need to be considering. The first one is the emotion of hope and the emotion of anticipation. And so if we can put ourselves into situations through thinking the right way that help us feel hopeful and also help us anticipate something, be really excited about something, that's automatically going to control our subconscious and automatically control our body language because we are really excited and we're going to be really enthusiastic about the situation that we're going into. So in terms of going into a situation where you do need to sell yourself, now, whether that's as a leader, out here with the team that's outside here, lots of people comment, they ask me, how are you going today, Kobe? I see them early here in the morning. Most mornings I'm here in the car park at 6 a.m. It could be 5:30 or 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and a few of the early shift people, or I go out and I see people in the car park showing up for work. How are you doing today? Everybody loves to hear the fact that my standard response is, hey, I'm amazing. How are you? And I'll say, g'day, hot stuff, or hello, hot stuff, or hello, handsome. And I use that as a really uplifting opportunity, because I know that I can project love onto everybody, and I know that I can basically be really happy and enthusiastic. So then people will look forward to seeing me or meeting with me or coming online like you guys are today. Now, a lot of that is obviously because I choose to do that, and I know that I can have a positive impact on people. And if I think back to that time when I was, back in 1991, 1992, even 1993, I knew that I had a positive impact on people. I knew that my face was always excited. I was enthusiastic. I was really happy to see just about everybody and talk to people, because I'm a people person. And so that facial expression, I do have a very expressive face, and I know that's also a contributing factor. Now, the facial expressions that I have they come very naturally to me, because they are an indicator of how I'm thinking. Now, if we see obviously the facial expression of concern, and often my deep thought that I have here in the business is often concern for he's cranky or he's upset, which is very rare, by the way. But when we do see these kinds of facial expressions, or we see these kinds of facial expressions, then they're often an indicator of our chronic tone, if you like. If we talked about our social tone and our chronic tone, our social tone is, hi, how are you today? I'm very good, thank you, versus an honest response to the question. So the first thing is, obviously, if you can control the way that you're thinking, and if you can put yourself in situations where you're really enjoying what's going on, then your body language and your facial expressions are going to be naturally projected, and you don't need to fake it till you make it. And it is that thinking about, I'm going to fake it till I make it, that is really going to drive that negative body language, the not positive, but negative body language. So in terms of step one, in terms of selling yourself more effectively, we've got to get our thinking right. And we've got to be starting to do things like falling in love with the process. Now, I've had probably the toughest 8 weeks of my career, probably the toughest 12 weeks of my career, because of this COVID-19 crisis. Trying to help everybody and uplift everybody and put a lot of energy into that. But also, it's been tough. Like, I won't lie to you, it's been tough for the business. We've moved offices to save money on rent, so we didn't have to put staff off and put people off. We've done a lot to save costs. And at the beginning of the crisis, I was like, I can't believe it. After 20 years in business, I'm still back in this position, and I couldn't believe it. But falling in love with the process, I love what I'm doing right now. And my body language that I'm projecting to you guys right now is very natural. It comes naturally to me, and it's an indicator to you of how I'm thinking. I'm in a good mood. I'm very happy. I'm enthusiastic. So one thing that I want you to do, if you're taking notes, so hello to everybody who's recently joined. Someone from Mongolia, fantastic. Good to see you here on the live stream today. A lovely global audience this morning, which is awesome. So tip number one, if you want to start writing notes, is we need to show up. It's a requirement that you show up enthusiastic as hell, super enthusiastic, super positive, because it is good to be around people who are positive. Would you prefer to be with somebody who's negative and really upset and not very charismatic? Or would it be really good to be with somebody who is really exciting? So I want you to be focusing on you yourself. You control the environment around you. You take control of it. You take control of the positivity. You take control of what's going on around with you, because you affect the people around you. You may have heard the saying, you become the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. Hang out with happy people, you'll be happy. Hang out with a comedian or somebody who tells jokes, you will be laughing the whole time. Even just thinking about that is making me even more happy. So it is important, and I have found in my career that I can control that situation. I can actually, as a leader and somebody who inspires and motivates people, I can drive up the level of enthusiasm in people. I can drive up the vibe of people around me, and I can add light, I can add happiness, and I can add love to the environment, particularly around me. Now, Why is that important? Because when you have an uplifted environment, when you have a positive, uplifting experience and an environment and vibe around you, it's easier to sell. So in terms of selling yourself more effectively, people are more likely to be drawn to happy, enthusiastic, positive people than people that are negative and critical and down, and have a chronic, negative social tone, that are covertly hostile or angry. As humans, we are drawn to people that are happy and enthusiastic, and we move away from people that are cranky and covertly hostile. So I want you to really be thinking about that and thinking about you contributing that, because you can then control it and controlling your own emotions. So that's the first thing. If we can control our own emotions by thinking happy thoughts and thinking about, a time when we were feeling really positive, a good little exercise is, I would like everybody right now to think about your most memorable holiday spot, your most memorable holiday experience. Close your eyes if you need to and think about your most memorable holiday experience. And as we think about that memorable holiday experience, I want you to now tap into that. How is that making you feel? Now, for all of you guys watching from all around the world, I bet I just made you feel a little bit happier, a little bit more uplifted, maybe a little bit of relief, maybe some excitement, maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed. And so you can think about that most memorable holiday spot, and you can take this into these situations when you are going in to sell yourself. If you're nervous about going for an interview, or nervous about pitching an idea to your team, or leading the team, or getting up to do some public speaking, or actually selling a product or service, it's very important to be getting your mindset right. And there are some master techniques that you can use. You can read the book, The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. He talks about how to anchor that feeling and how to actually, control that feeling and get that feeling to come out instantaneously. You might feel, warmth or cool. You might be a particular smell that you really enjoy, or a smell that makes you smile. And what Jordan Belfort says is that if you can find a smell that makes you smile, then that's going to be a great way for you to be, to trigger happiness and enthusiasm to go into a selling situation. So that tip number one is controlling how you think and getting yourself into an enthusiastic, positive opportunity. So everybody who's watching on the live stream, both on LinkedIn and or on YouTube, let me know where you are watching from. Welcome. Someone's just joined in from India. We've got a great global audience today, which I really appreciate everybody's time, and I hope I can add a huge amount of value for you. So let me know how you're feeling right now. Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling enthusiastic? Because you are becoming the average of the people that you're hanging out, and you're in a great group of people that are learning right now in this particular live session. Just maybe put in the comments there, how are you feeling? Is this interesting? Is it exciting? Are you feeling enthusiastic? Are you feeling uplifted? Are you feeling motivated? Because this is my injection of enthusiasm into you guys out there to go on and tackle the challenges of the world. Okay, I'm going to move on. So we want to think about our thinking. We want to control our mindset, how we're thinking. Now I can go into the process of how to sell yourself more effectively. We have 3 stages. In selling, there's 3 stages. So we're either selling a product or service, we're selling ourselves because we're going for an interview. What we're going to be asking, if you are going for an interview, or if you're being interviewed for a job, or if you're being interviewed as a salesperson selling a product or service, it's very important to understand that that person's going to be exchanging money for your product or service, or for you, for your time. And so it is really important to understand the process of selling, which I'll just quickly put up here on the whiteboard for you, which is an open. And then that goes through to a close. And we've got to divide it into 3 parts. The first part is information gathering. Then it's presentation. And then it's close. Or in this instance, we can call it handling objections. So if you're going for an interview, if you're selling, if you're doing another of those sort of activities, congratulations for those people who've said they're enthusiastic and motivated to improve and excited. Good to see you guys making those comments. So big round of applause for everybody there who's making those comments and telling me how they're feeling. So in terms of selling yourself more effectively, it's important to project yourself as interesting, and I'll dig deep into interesting in a second. Enthusiastic, happy, positive. Maybe not overly crazy and excited when you turn up, because we've got to pick our tone and we don't want to be too far stretched away from the people that we're around, but you will definitely lift the average. And it's important to contribute that positive energy. So we're going to go into massive information gathering. So if you are going for a job, if you are being interviewed, if you are presenting your business, if you are doing a pitch, very important to do massive information gathering, and also to a certain extent, understand who do you need to be speaking to as part of that massive information gathering. Because when you want to sell yourself more effectively, I want you to avoid showing up and throwing up. What I like to say is don't show up and throw up. Don't do the presentation up front. And that's where at the beginning of this session, I said, if you are somebody who is, so then I can say, you've continued on the stream. So I understand you're somebody who wants to know how to sell yourself more effectively. And just let me confirm that's correct. I understand that you're in a pretty good mood and you're feeling enthusiastic and motivated to improve. I understand that you're watching from somewhere in the world and everybody's on planet Earth. I really appreciate that. That's part of my information gathering exercise. We sent out an email to you guys. You probably are prompted either because you've been joining us every one of these live streams at the same time every week, or you've received the email. If you're not on the email list, jump onto bestpractice.biz, scroll to the bottom of the page and sign up for the email list so that you can get on and get the notifications of what we're talking about each week. But we want to do our massive information gathering. We want to work out who we need to be speaking to so that we're in the right mindset, we're motivated, we're excited, we're not, teary, crying and broken down and angry. We've got to be in the right positive mindset so we can sell ourselves more effectively. Then we want to do our massive information gathering. So if you are somebody who is going for a job or going for a role, or you're looking to further your career or pitch an idea to your team, it's very important to understand up front all the different parts as best you can to the problem that exists, the problem that the person that you're selling to or pitching to is seeking to solve. Because in most situations, they're going to be swapping their money for a solution to the problem, for the benefits, not the features, the benefits. And so as we go through that process, it's very important for you to be spending time, slowing down, asking good questions. Now, the great part of asking great questions up here is ask, first, tell, if you like, and then respond. And that would be the model in order. Don't tell first and then ask. It's about asking great questions, asking 10 times more questions than you thought you needed to ask as part of this exercise to collect the information. And your objective is to get a very clear understanding of the problem that the person you're talking to or pitching to or meeting with or leading or inspiring or assisting is seeking to solve. So get clear on the problem you're seeking to solve so that then you can say, I understand you're somebody who wants to sell yourself more effectively, or I understand you have a need for this product or service because we've talked about this, this, and this. Just help me I just want to summarize so that I'm correct. I believe I've got a solution to that problem. Now, there's lots of different solutions to the problem, but I believe I've got a good solution to your problem that is going to bring you the benefits you are looking for. What are the benefits that you are looking for? I was in a really interesting conversation yesterday in a meeting with part of our business improvement group and our business coaches from Next Practice. You can check out their details on bestpractice.biz/services, and you can see the different services that we offer here at Best Practice. Lots more of this business coaching, lots more people and talent management coming out of the Best Practice group. And what we were talking about, they were looking for the benefits of an improvement of culture in their organization. Now, we went into that discussion. Unfortunately, we as a group, and that's my co-directors, went into a discussion thinking that we were presenting policies and procedures and talking about systems and process and improving businesses. But the actual benefit that the organization was looking for was an improvement in culture and an improvement in alignment and an improvement in, the organization's obviously financial results, but they knew that the pathway to get to the improvement in financial results was through improving culture. And so it was really interesting to go into that conversation because we spent time doing massive information gathering. We didn't just show up and throw up. We were actually able to pivot our presentation, pivot the telling part, the presenting part, so to respond to the issues that they'd raised. There's been some really interesting conversations in the last week in my environment about tendering and truly understanding what the customers are looking for. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote up Who. If you're in an organization that does do tendering, and it's been about 4 or 5 conversations with different companies, I'm on an interesting I'm booked on an interesting phone call tonight with a company in Ireland. I hope they're on the live stream here. Let me know if you are. And if you are, one of those organizations, that we're going to be talking tonight about all the different people in the team on the client side that we're going to need to get to know as part of this massive information gathering to see if we can find blockers, influencers, negative people we need to influence before the tendering process even starts to ensure that there's no blind spots, there's no surprises that come out of that process. So we need to be thinking about that as part of our massive, massive, massive information gathering. Now, in terms of actually going for an interview, I'll be sitting in on an interview around about midday, or the start of an interviewing process around about midday today. And I'm going to be doing my massive information gathering, but I hope that person doesn't show up and throw up. I hope they do their due diligence because they're going to be selling themselves. And I want to understand if I've got the solution to the problem and if they've got a solution to my problem, and then we'll be able to do some business together. So as we start to do this presentation, your presentation points, and this is about selling more effectively, selling yourself in an interview. When you're talking in terms of answers to questions, it's very important to be answering against the benefits that the organization or the person doing the interviewing is looking for. And the same with selling, any form of selling. It's all the same. What benefits are they looking for? What are they looking to get out of life? And your responses to questions need to really clearly answer that. If they are concerned about something specific, address their concerns. Now, concerns come over here in objections, and I'll talk about that shortly. But it's important to be upfront. Now, they may give you some objections up front, but it's important to be talking to those points. So when you do your presentation, a lot of people say, well, I want to get the perfect presentation. I want to get the perfect slide deck. I want to get the perfect CV. I want to get the perfect resume. It's very important to customize those responses to talk specifically to the benefits that the person you're selling to is seeking to get out of life or seeking to get for their organization. Let me know if this is helping. Nova Scotia in Canada, Devon, welcome to the live stream today. I'm glad you're excited, and for those people that are optimistic and motivated, that's absolutely fantastic. We want you to be motivated. We want you to be enthusiastic. We want you to be pumped because you're going to go out into your teams today and the people that you're working with, or on Zoom meetings, or working from home, or doing whatever you need to do. And it's really important. You're going to sell more effectively being in that really great mindset. Now, we're recording this presentation. If this needs to be your pep-up session, if you need your daily dose of Kobe in the morning, you can either jump on and listen to your favorite podcast, which is the Kobe Simmet audio experience. And I hope you've all subscribed to the podcast. A lot of these videos, we record the audio and stream it on our podcast platform. My favorite is on Spotify. You can get the Kobe Simmet audio experience on Spotify. But otherwise, you can jump on YouTube, you can copy this link and you can save it as a favorite, and I can motivate you every day. And in fact, if you want a purely motivational video, let me know, and maybe I can drop some of those for you on my TikTok account. There we go. That's me shouting out for our social media platforms. Okay, so let me know where you're watching from. For those people that have just come on, let me know in the comments if this is helping. If there's something specific that's a question you want me to answer, use those comments to ask those questions. Okay, let's move through the process as we move across the page here from presenting. Now, the presentation's pretty simple. You can talk about your features, but really what you want to be talking about is the benefits. There's a feature to this particular presentation. Kobe's doing the presentation. There's a feature, it's on YouTube. There's a feature, it's being recorded. There's a feature, it's streaming in high definition in 4K. They're all the features. The benefit is before this presentation to after this presentation, you have a clearer understanding and a little bit more knowledge around how to sell yourself more effectively. And the benefit of that is you're going to potentially sell yourself into a role where you're going to earn more money. So right here today, I'm here to help you earn more money. What do I get out of it? I'm having a lot of fun and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm spending 30 minutes to an hour with a great group of people who are really positive and uplifting and are uplifting me. So I'm living the dream as far as I'm concerned. It's not about money for me. It's about helping people, and I love helping people. But what I'm here to help you with, the benefit you get out of this presentation is this is a little bit of extra knowledge that's going to help you be happier in life and also potentially earn a little bit more money with some clarity around my tips and tricks on how I've made myself a little bit successful in my life. So I hope this is helping. Thanks, Zach. Of course, it's always useful stuff, but let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you're thinking of or thoughts that come to mind. Let me know that too. Okay, so as we move across this, in terms of doing presentations, we've got to be presenting against each of the answers, the questions, the concerns, the issues that they raise. Then we move into the objections. Now, we've got to listen out for that. In every sale, in every single sale, in every single interaction where we are selling ourselves, there will be objections. Now, some of the objections I've been getting in the last couple of weeks is I don't wear a jacket and I don't wear a shirt and I don't wear a suit. And the objection is we'd prefer somebody to come and sell to us who has a jacket and a suit. But I'm the guy that just wears a t-shirt with bestpractice.biz, or sometimes I wear a shirt, but I always roll my sleeves up and I always wear boots. In fact, I've got today, I'll just show you my shoes just to prove that it doesn't matter because I can sell, is I've got work boots on because we're doing an office renovation. So there's a dirty work boot for you. So yes, I've got to add some comedy into this routine as well. And Luke, he's helping me in the studio. He's laughing. Let's put my boot back on. In fact, I can't show you, but I've got Halloween socks on as well. So my socks don't even match my outfit. But it's less important how you dress. The first thing that people will often do is make eye contact with you. So your facial expressions of enthusiasm, positivity, hope, and happiness are more important than your outfit. Of course, your outfit is important, but it's only about 10% of the whole package in terms of selling yourself effectively. And it is obviously easier similarities. People do, unfortunately, humans do judge a book by its cover. So it's important to have good personal hygiene. It's important to be well kept and well groomed and matching the culture that you are pitching to. Now, of course, there are obviously different cultural differences and different religious differences with all of the different countries and cultures that are part of this group today, which is an amazing group. And there's obviously different religions. I'm trying very hard not to swear. And I have one of the objections in our presentations has been, I do cuss a lot. I come from a culture where cussing is part of how we speak. And I've had to correct that as I present more to a global culture. Happy to make that change, but that's been an objection. We would listen to you more if you swore less. And so I try not to swear on our podcast because then it would be categorized by Spotify as having explicit content, and the algorithm will suppress my content. So I'm not going to get as many views and reach out and help as many people. So there's an objection that I've responded to. Okay, your objection is we would listen to you more effectively if you could please not swear so much. So those are the kinds of things that we can think about in terms of selling more effectively, is listening to our buying audience. Now, the buying audience will be potentially team members that you're pitching to. They could be your customers. They could be the employer that you are seeking to make a good impression with, and also to seek to bring them the benefits that they're looking for. So when you're pitching yourself as part of this process, and if you are going for an interview, if you're going for a job, or if you're elevating yourself in your career, if you focus less on yourself and being nervous and focus more on, I truly want to understand the benefits that they want to get, and I'm really focused right now, and you can see my body language has changed because I'm really interested in what's happening. I'm really interested to understand what are the benefits that you guys hope to get out of life so that I can focus on customizing my product, service, myself to suit you more effectively, to bring you the benefits you're looking to get out of life. So it is something to consider. And that's what we're doing here in terms of our presentation. We're listening for objections. I don't like the color, the size, the shape, the feel, the price, and seek to respond to those. And that is where there's always a little bit of customization of your product or service or your pitch or yourself so that you can address the market's demand. Now, there is a point where you don't want to radically change too much because you may not enjoy who you become. And it's important to be yourself. But if you can be yourself and you can listen to the people that you seek to serve, and you can find someone, you can find someone that you seek to serve, then you're going to be happier in the long term because you won't need to make massive radical change. But the market will dictate a lot of the changes you need to make, and that is very important. I'm very grateful that the global market has moved away from suits and ties and jackets. I get very hot and I don't like wearing suit jackets. I live in a relatively warm environment. And I know there's some people here that live near the equator. I can see you guys, the middle of the planet where it is hot and steamy, where suits and ties and long sleeve shirts are not necessarily appropriate. But it is something to consider that, with lights on and all those sorts of things, I don't want to have jackets and ties, but I appreciate that some people like to see that. That's the packaging that they like. So we do need to consider the packaging a little bit, but like any product or service, often the packaging is thrown out as we seek to get the benefits. And you don't often get a lot of benefits from packaging. You get the benefits from the product or service that you're buying, and we need to consider that. So yes, we've got to think about packaging and how you look and how you present yourself, but you don't need to spend lots of money on watches and all those kinds of things. I have a relatively inexpensive watch. It's just very shiny. It is all those sorts of things to think about as part of your packaging, but it's not about your car. It's not about your suits. It's about massive information gathering, being enthusiastic as hell. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this helps with the objections, is you need to be an expert in your field. It's very important as part of this process because you're selling yourself. You've got to have all of the knowledge. You've got to spend the time. You've got to put in the work doing the study and the reading, and not necessarily an expert in your field is not the rocket scientist. An expert in your field is also understanding a bit of the tangible knowledge, a bit of the knowledge that your customer has, a bit of the concerns that your customer has. Luke, can you throw me that book for a second? So this particular book is, I'm focusing on learning as much as I can about a particular group of customers. And so I've picked up this book. I've showed it a couple of times, but I haven't promoted it yet. It's Remarkable Retail. Now, Remarkable Retail is really interesting because that is a book where retailers, and this particular author has written a book for retailers and said, here's how you guys can sell more effectively. Here's how a retail business, and retail is really struggling right now in the COVID-19 crisis, that to sell more effectively in retail, well, here's some suggestions. Here's some great business advice. Now, you want to know my secret? One of my secrets? I thought, hang on a minute, as a service-based business with a YouTube channel and Facebook and LinkedIn, maybe there's some advice I can take from retail, because if retail is doing it tough, maybe we can look into this and we can think about, well, Remarkable Retail is about the customer experience. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, how could I apply the principles in this book in your customer experience? And it would be exactly the same as your favorite barista who makes your coffee, the corner store, the supermarket that you go to, the market that you go to buy your food and groceries. It's absolutely amazing to have a great experience when the salesperson at the cashier, at the marketplace where you buy your fruit and vegetables or your protein, is actually enthusiastic, and you will be more inclined to go back there to buy more often. So if you are somebody who wants to sell yourself effectively and have customers and people come back to you to buy from you on a regular basis, and you enjoy working with them and you enjoy selling to them, then maybe there's some principles in other industries where you can improve your customers' experience. So the goal in terms of having, selling yourself more effectively is to be really thinking about how can you go out of your way, make yourself really uncomfortable, that significantly enhances the experience that your customer is going to have. And I'll tell you, doing these videos and doing all the great stuff we do here at Best Practice, it gets uncomfortable and it's a lot of work, and we've got to put the effort in and we've got to control our diaries and so we can go live. But hopefully what we're doing for you guys is improving your experience with us here at Best Practice and motivating you guys to improve your customers' experience. And that is the root core of what I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about the consumer experience from your organization, your customers, your consumers. That's what I'm thinking about, because I want your customers and your consumers to learn that they can buy from an organization that's worked with Best Practice, because that organization is constantly thinking about how they can improve their consumers' experience. That's what I'm ultimately passionate about, because it's just good for the global economy, it's good for your business, and it's good for their consumer experience. And that's what I'm passionate about, is that end user impact, your end users, if that makes sense. Okay, how are we going for time? Okay, questions, please. I appreciate everybody's time. Has anybody got any questions? Let me know in the comments. Has this been useful? Has it been a good reminder? Is there anything further that I can cover for you? I've got a great topic tomorrow, which I'll talk about. I appreciate a couple of people have just dropped off. Good morning, good evening in Jamaica. Thanks for joining us. So we've got a lovely global audience this morning from people all over the world, the four corners of the planet, if the planet was flat. But we've got our lovely globe. So if there is anything that you guys would like me to specifically address, maybe you could share a time, a challenging question. And I know you guys are generally pretty quiet on the comments, but has this been useful? Yes or no? Is there anything further you'd like me to talk about? Would you prefer that I wore a jacket? I was thinking this morning for this presentation that I could put a white sports jacket on, and I can do that. Have a collared jacket and still wear my best practice t-shirt. Would that have helped you? Would you prefer to see me wear a suit? It's something to consider. Okay, now language alert for you guys. This is the bonus point. I want you guys to think about what a shit test is for you, what I call a shit test, or teasing, or an objection. Because in my life, I've experienced times when people around me have been jealous, and they've been jealous of whatever I might be doing, or my success, or the things that are going on. And as you start to change, as you become enthusiastic, as you become motivated, as you become excited, and as you become more focused on your goals and doing what you want to do to sell yourself, then it's definitely something I want you to think about, is look out for the shit testing. Look out for the criticism. Look out for the teasing. Look out for the negative remarks, because that is an indicator of your success. Just stay the course, because it's not about you. It's not something that you're doing. It's about the negative things that are going on in their life. And they're like, this person is making me smile. This person is making me happy. And I don't want to be happy. I want to be cranky. And so I'm going to bark at them. I'm going to make noise, and I'm going to go, I'm negative. And so you look out for that. And you do see them occasionally. You see them on my LinkedIn. You see them in the comments on my LinkedIn. You see them on the comments on my Instagram. And people will actually make negative comments because they're like, I'm competitive with that person. I don't want that person to succeed. And they blame you. And the bonus point is to really look out for that teasing or shit testing. I call it a shit test. And I'll see that and I'll go, okay, how do I respond to that? And that's why I said over here in terms of respond, is because sometimes those objections, those negative comments will be, that person is subconsciously testing you, because they're like, I feel motivated and inspired by this person, but I'm actually going to make a negative remark to see if I can break them, to see if I can crack them. And so people do make those comments to my team around me. They're like, is this guy legit? Is he this energetic the whole time, or is it just a put on? They're like, nope, he doesn't have an off switch. He's like this the whole time. Now, I will say occasionally I do lose my shit, and I lost my shit yesterday. I had a little bit of an outburst and threw a bit of a tantrum because I backed my car into a small ding in my car, and I was upset about that. But it was my fault. I was owning my shit, and I was so cranky with myself. And so my lovely wife, saw me have a small outburst out the front of our house because I was cranky with myself. It was foggy. My windows were all fogged up and I couldn't see, and I backed into something and damaged my car. So it is important that for the 99% of the time, it is very important to be looking out for those shit tests and controlling your emotions and responding in a positive way. It is a good thing to do. It's good to be happy. It's good to be enthusiastic, and it's good for other people. So you got to continue to do that. Okay, let me have a quick look at the comments. Thank you very much, Sarah. Very useful. Definitely no jacket. Okay. So something, would love something on getting to the opportunity to pitch, getting a toe in. Okay, I'll quickly talk about that. Happy, very good presentation. What kind of questions you asked with massive information gathering? Okay, let me get through those. I'll get to you, Helen, and we'll keep going. Yes, so for Shahana, sorry, I missed it from the beginning. Could you please share the recording? Yes, just below the video, the share button. You can see the share button. You can see the thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button, click the like button, but also share. You can click that share and YouTube will give you the link. So you can email that to yourself. That'll be the recording. So that's really easy to self-serve. Maybe Vanessa, if you're watching, if you could share the link to this video in the comments so they can click on that. Okay. Okay. In terms of getting the opportunity to pitch, look, that's obviously a challenging one, and that comes before this, which is marketing. So marketing. So the more marketing you do, then the more opportunities you're going to get to pitch. I've talked about this before in some of the other presentations. There's a great book by Chet Holmes called The Ultimate Sales Machine. Chet Holmes, The Ultimate Sales Machine. What Chet Holmes says is that if you were to put all of the potential buyers into the marketplace at any point in time, only 3% would be in the market to buy your product or service or your job or what you do right now. And so marketing, the ultimate goal of marketing is to have those people know that you exist and then reach out to you when they have the problem or challenge that you solve. And so a lot of brand building, personal brand building, networking is about letting people know that you exist, letting people know what you do, and ultimately so they reach out to you when they have the problem. Now, a lot of selling gets really frustrating because we're like pitching, pitch, lose, pitch, lose, pitch, lose, pitch, lose, pitch, lose, pitch, maybe negotiate, pitch, lose, pitch, win. And so one of the things in terms of getting your toe in the door is it's far easier to be spending most of your time marketing, which is what I do with all of our social media, so that then when there is opportunities that come up, you get reached out to almost exclusively. And that is starting to happen with us here at Best Practice. When people learn more about what we do and what we can help with, they exclusively reach out to us to give us the opportunity to pitch, which is unfair for everybody else. I get that, but they didn't do the work. They didn't do 10 years of social media like we're doing to get us those opportunities. And they say, it's so unfair. You've got a reputation. You're so well known. Well, that's because we put the work in. So I think the first thing to think about from getting your toe in the door is doing marketing. Ask lots of questions. So lots of questions is, hey, would you happen to be in the, maybe Sarah, maybe you could let me know what you do. And then, if you're pitching for a job or pitching your organization or pitching your business, let me know what you do and I'll give you an example. So then I can give you some ideas of how to actually do your prospecting. So marketing is also prospecting, social media, brand building, networking, so that you can keep looking for people that you can reach out to that then might say, yeah, well, actually, I'm in the market for that. Come and talk to me. And then you'll get the opportunity to get your toe in. And when you go to talk to them, that is when you do more massive information gathering before you do your presentation. Don't show up and throw up. Even if they ask you, tell me about you and tell me what you do, you don't answer that question straight away. And so this is answering your question, Devin, in terms of the massive information gathering questions is, even if someone says, tell me about yourself and tell me what you do, you say, look, so that I can present properly, I'd like to learn a bit more about the situation, a bit more about some of the goals that you're seeking to achieve, some of the objectives that you have, some of the benefits that you want to get out of this process. Very obviously, you're looking into some products and services, you're looking into me, but so I can present to you in the right way and make a decision if I'm the right person or this is the right product or service, very ethical positioning there to make sure that's the right product or service, then you ask the question. So I like to start, and Devin, here's some generic answers to your question, with who's involved, what are you hoping to achieve, when would you like to achieve that by, where would you like to achieve it, how do you want to go about doing it? So who, what, when, where, and how. We know why. So it's understanding those sorts of responses to the questions are good, simple, open questions. And you could do some Googling, open questions to do sales information gathering is a good one. Okay, Jose, welcome back. Good to see you in the stream there on YouTube. What do you do when you're working for a grumpy boss, even at times if they are ungrateful? Learn to own your shit. So yeah, growing up, my family's business wasn't going very well. My mum was always stressed all the time, and my mother was grumpy a lot of the time. I found out what she liked. I've talked a little bit about the 5 love languages. See if you can find out from your boss what their love language is. It'll be one of the 5 love languages. It'll be words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, touch, or gifts. And the very first thing that you can do is set an example. Express your gratitude, because behavior breeds behavior. If I'm enthusiastic and motivated and excited and helping you guys, then that's going to breed behavior in you. It's going to make you feel good. We've already proved that. You guys are feeling really good. So the best thing that you can do is that's a shit test. If the boss is grumpy and they're grumpy, they're trying to make you grumpy. You've got to combat that. You've got to put up your force field, and you've got to be, I'm not going to actually let you affect me. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be motivated. I'm going to be enthusiastic. I'm going to be amazing every day, whether you are grumpy or not. But if you can find out their love language, you might be able to get under their skin. If it's acts of service, just asking them what you can do to help. If it's gifts, giving them a little gift. If it's touch, giving them a pat on the back, or shaking their hand in the morning, or being appropriate. I know it's social distancing right now and touch is difficult, but if you can understand their love language, you can show your gratitude to them in that way, and you will lead them and you will uplift them, and just focus on uplifting them. Focus on seeing what you can do to make them happy, and keep trying and be persistent. And I guarantee, even if they're a little bit less grumpy around you, you will see an uplift, because you will average onto them, if that makes sense. So never let somebody grumpy or cranky or upset average onto you, if that makes sense. Okay. Sarah, security company, ManSec and alarm response. Fantastic. This helped me so much. Okay, now let me just quickly go back to your question. Getting a toe in. So Sarah, some of the questions could be, are you in the market for security? Are you in the market for alarm response? And that'd be just a really basic open question straight into sales, which is, are you in the market for alarms? Are you concerned about security? If you are somebody who is looking for assistance with security, reach out to us. And I think it's important to be doing some social media, doing some education of your marketplace. If you are somebody who wants the confidence of having your business or your organization looked after by an outsourced security company, we will help and watch over you. If you are somebody who wants to get up-to-date information on what's happening out there in the security industry, you can reach out to us and we can keep you informed. We do a monthly newsletter of just security updates, tips, and tricks. If you are a building manager, if you are an asset manager, if you are somebody who looks after an organization's security, we would like to talk to you. It's those kind of questions which is going to help you get a toe in. It's going to help you with the prospecting to try to find that 3% of the marketplace that is looking to sell products and services. So Sarah, I hope that's helped. And we can potentially get some more information. I can help you guys. Sugar, I hope I've said your name correctly. I'm considering going into quality consultancy. How do I start? Start by looking for people who need help from a quality consultancy perspective. So it's saying, if you are somebody who has a quality management system, if you are somebody who has a business management system, if you're somebody who's looking to improve your organization, if you are somebody who is looking to uplift your customers' experience, hey, my name's Sugar. I'm here to help you. I've got all of this experience in the background. That's how you can get started. So starting to network with people on LinkedIn, you're networking with quality managers, you're networking with safety managers, you're networking with environment managers, people who are working in that field, and also positioning yourself as an authority. So maybe go back and watch some of our ISO videos, quality management videos, back through some of the early ones. You can sort our YouTube channel by most popular videos, and you can see some of that stuff. Educating yourself, being an expert in the field, and then going and doing some networking. Think about, and this is for everybody, thinking about where your buyers, your buying audience hangs out. Where do they hang out online? Where do they consume their content? And what sorts of questions are they seeking to have answered? And then be there with the answer to those questions. South Africa, welcome from South Africa. Sorry, I got something in my eye there. Ashwin, how do you perceive during a presentation that the person on the other side is attentive and listening you positively rather than just gathering information to use elsewhere? Look, the first thing is everybody is always gathering information to use elsewhere. Everybody is always stealing your information. So just start getting your mindset right and accepting that. I give away 99% of our information for free to you guys. And so I just accept that. I'm here to help people. So somebody is looking to get some help. They're talking to you and they're going to take your information and they're going to use it. And so the best way is to have more information all of the time and continue to be on the front foot so they have to keep coming back to you. And so that's what I do. I just accept that everybody steals my stuff. 15 years ago, I built these beautiful templates and beautiful management systems, and we were selling them to clients, and they all just got stolen. And I just went, all right, well, that's great. I'm going to keep improving my product. I'm going to keep innovating. I'm going to keep coming out with more models. And iPhone is a good example. They lead the way. They constantly bring out new models. They don't worry about if people steal their ideas. They just keep coming up with new ideas. And if you keep coming up with new ideas, you take all of their power away, because they learn to steal ideas from you, not create their own ideas. And it's a long game and it's an infinite game, and I appreciate that. But get yourself into the mindset that's like, okay, if someone wants to steal, take it. Like, they won't use it anyway. So often people who steal ideas, they fail to act, and a lot of people fail to implement. So you guys aren't going to be one of those people that don't implement. I hope you guys aren't going to be people that sit here and watch and don't go away and take my advice and implement my advice. And the words that I just used then are very specific. You can say to people, hey, you're not going to be one of these people that just takes my stuff and goes and uses it elsewhere, are you? And they'll go, oh, no, that's not going to be me. Okay, awesome. I look forward to working with you. And that's confidence. Selling yourself effectively, there's so much more we can talk about on this particular topic, but I'm confident. And I'm also a little bit cheeky. And so, okay, so, we can say, actually, I'm going to give you this stuff for free. And I acknowledge that, you're going to take and use it, but I really would like a favor from you. Can you please go and tell lots of people about it? Because it's great stuff. So it is something to consider. I hope that's helped you, but leaning into it. Okay. Sarah, you're very welcome. Let me have a look at the comments there on LinkedIn. Any questions for the viewers on LinkedIn? Let me know if there's any questions. Lots going on here on YouTube. Okay, Sarah, we focused on improving our company and with your help achieving ISO 9001 2015. Couldn't have done it without you. Sarah, I'm glad to assist. You're very, very welcome. I hope one day maybe we could help you and do your ISO 9001 2015 certification for you. A big part of best practice here is we are a global organization. We can do all of that auditing and certification remotely. We are hoping to build our best practice brand around the world. So if you are somebody who has got ISO 9001 certification, we can help you. You can reach out to us. You can jump on our website. There's a few buttons there that you can click through, but you can reach out to us definitely, and we can help you guys with that certification. We can do a transfer. It's internationally recognized. So I'm glad I was able to help you guys, and I hope I can help some more. Lots of great stuff there in the Training Academy. Okay. Yes, I know I'm not very good at telling everybody it's global, but yes, it's we have an international accreditation forum accreditation. I signed the global deed for international accreditation. And yes, specifically right now, all of our online ISO 9001 is all online. All of our assessors are doing everything virtually with Zoom and Google Meet and all these great products. Yes, so we are definitely global. We can definitely help you. Okay. Sahana, I hope I've said your name correctly. If my project is phase out and I have to designated work to do my office, then how could I engage myself again in the work, or should I try in other organizations? I think my recommendation in terms of trying in other organizations is yes. Always have a plan B and C and D. Yes. Always have a pipeline. And in marketing, that's what we call a pipeline. So selling yourself effectively it's very important not to have yourself tied up in one opportunity or one deal or one situation, because then you will have a very needy body language and you'll have a very needy behavior, and you will have the fear of loss. Wow, you'll be anxious about, what am I going to do if I lose this contract? What am I going to do if I don't get this job? What am I going to do if I don't get this sale? So it's very important to have a full pipeline of 3 or 4 or 5 opportunities. If you are a solo operator, if you are somebody who's like a consultant, or if you're somebody who's working by yourself, I would recommend, it's very important to spend 1 day per week networking and marketing, do not fill up your whole week. If you have to work 5 days a week for a company doing your project, then it's very important to use the 6th day to do marketing and sales to build more opportunities, to build your pipeline, and to also be able to increase your income and increase the money that you can ask for. By having other opportunities, then you can say, well, I will sell myself to the highest bidder. If you've just got only yourself and you've only got a limited number of days, then you can ask for more money each time you go back to do those consulting projects because you've got 2 or 3 opportunities. And if someone sees a huge amount of value in you, then they will say yes to that price. So it is, yes, I would absolutely say more of that. Okay, good morning from India. Another person from India has just joined us. Okay, so I'm conscious of the time. We're nearing the 1 hour mark. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Okay, so I'd really appreciate if everybody could jump across onto Instagram, search Kobe Simmet on Instagram, and start following my Instagram account. We're trying to grow our exposure on that place. We want to do more with Instagram. We've got a huge amount planned, but we need some more followers on our Instagram account. So if you haven't got Instagram, set yourself up with an Instagram account. Please jump on, follow the Kobe Simmet page. Our team is doing some great work there. You get some behind the scenes in what I'm up to. We're moving into our new studio next week. I'm going to take a couple of days off to get some rest and relaxation next week. We have school holidays here. So I'm going to spend some family time next week, and then we'll be into our new studio. So I look forward to seeing everybody right here, same place, same time tomorrow in 24 hours as I talk to you about how you guys can improve your management systems in your organization, improve the supporting processes that sit behind your organization to help your people do great work and further the worthy cause of your organizations. I really look forward to doing that. It's going to be an exciting topic. I really love this session today. If you want more of these sessions, if you want daily motivation from me, please jump across onto the podcast. Check out the Kobe Simmet audio experience on your favorite podcast platform. And Stan Wall, you are very welcome. I owe you a phone call, so let's have a quick chat about your message the other evening. I'd like to hear an update for where you're up to with that. So anybody who, if you want to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to have a 15-minute conversation with you. We can do it one-on-one quietly. If you want some guidance, some advice, you want to unlock an issue that you've got, more than happy to do that. We can do that on Zoom, or we can do that on Google Meet. Caitlin can set that up for you. So you can just reach out to us, send a direct message to me on LinkedIn, and I can help you with that. So if you haven't got a LinkedIn account, please set one up. That's going to be one of the best ways to sell yourself effectively. Get your LinkedIn profile organized. Have a look at my LinkedIn profile. Copy what I've done on LinkedIn with setting up the pages and the skills, and go and check that out and do lots of posting and start practicing. So please, if you've got an Instagram account, if you don't, set yourself up with one and go and follow the Kobe Simmet Instagram account. I'd really appreciate that. We're working pretty hard to grow our Instagram so that we can do more work in that space. And I really appreciate everybody's time today. Let me know in the comments, was this helpful? Yes or no? If you haven't already, smash that like button, give me the big thumbs up. And if you need to, copy the links to either of these presentations and share them with anyone that's a friend that you think needs some of the daily motivation from Kobe and everything we're doing here at Best Practice. And I'm sure you can think of people in your group of friends that you want to give a bit of uplift. Maybe they've recently lost their job. Maybe they're looking to improve their organization. Maybe they need the uplift to sell themselves more effectively so they can maybe go and earn more money or get a better job, particularly through this COVID-19 crisis. I hope I can help them. I sincerely love doing this topic, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do it and listening today. Okay, thank you very much. No, Sugar, it's Kobi. I'll write it for you. On Instagram, it is... Maybe, Vanessa, you could post the link for me. I'll write it. Luke's going to write it. It's Kobe Simmet on Instagram. There we go. Okay. And on LinkedIn and on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, we've got a funny TikTok account. So on TikTok, Instagram. There we go. Did I do that right? No. Do that again. At Kobe Simmet. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, so that's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Okay. Luke's just posted the comment there. So massive shout out to the team. the leadership guides, and the other guides that have gone up on the Best Practice website. Please go and check those out. New stuff coming. We've got 2 coming. Help improve your customer experience using Net Promoter Score. We're writing that guide right now. We've also got a sales and business development guide that is in the works. I will admit I've been procrastinating on that one because we've been fitting out our new office. So I will get to that with some time off next week. Okay, smash that like button. Let me know you enjoyed this. Was this helpful? Yes or no? I'd really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you all in tomorrow's live stream. Same time, same place tomorrow. This has been Kobe Simmet at Best Practice. And if you don't see me out there, if you don't see me somewhere else on social media, you'll definitely see me right here next time on Best Practice TV and the Kobe Simmet podcast, Kobe Simmet Audio Experience. Bye for now.